Hi, my name's Kirk Wilkinson, and welcome to the Happiness and Self-Worth Solution. Today's video is going to be about the second part of the I Am Strong formula, acceptance and acknowledgement. Last time we talked about identify your why, to learn why you do the things that you do. Today I'd like you to take a hard look at yourself and accept and acknowledge yourself for who you are, for what you've done, for where you are in life, and feel okay about it. Let me start by telling you this story. When I was a young man, I was in high school and I worked for a meat packing plant. And typically I worked in the warehouse, but one day I was asked to make a delivery in Southern California to downtown Los Angeles. The meat packing plant was in Compton, California, and I had really never ever been to downtown Los Angeles, and I had to take this truck to a brand new area. And of course, I got lost. And instead of calling my boss and saying, hey, I don't know where I'm at, I called my dad. And I said, hey, Dad, I'm on the corner of La Cienega and whatever. And he says to me, well, what are you doing there? Don't you know that that is the worst place that you can be? Don't you know that that's a bad neighborhood? And I said, well, Dad, look, I don't really want to talk about why I got here. I just want to get from where I am to where I need to be. But so often in life, we have that judgment, don't we, where we are concerned about where we are. We're concerned that we're not where we should be. We're not doing what we should be doing. We don't feel that we're in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. Acknowledgement and acceptance is just that, recognizing that where you are right now is a starting point. Let me follow that example about GPS. Imagine if I were to have had GPS when I took that delivery to Los Angeles, I probably wouldn't have got lost. And many of you use GPS in your cars today. The one thing about GPS, in order for it to work correctly, you must have an accurate starting point. If you don't have an accurate starting location, it cannot navigate you to where you want to go. Imagine if you were to type in an address of where you want to go and the GPS were to say to you, hey, what are you doing here? Don't you know this is a bad neighborhood? Don't you know you should never be here? We don't need that kind of judgment in our life coming from a GPS, but why do we have that kind of judgment coming from ourselves? So just like the GPS, I want you to just acknowledge and accept that this is your starting point. This is who you are, and it doesn't mean that you're not going to try and get better. It doesn't mean that you're not going to learn how to get better or learn new skills. I mean, that's why you're watching these videos. It is just being brutally honest with yourself and just accepting, here's where I am. Acceptance is not agreement. Acceptance doesn't mean you're not going to try. It just means I'm not going to beat myself up anymore for being where I am and doing what I'm doing while I try to get better. While I'm on the path to my next destination, to where I need to go, I'm not going to beat myself up. So here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to think about, what is your biggest mistake? What is the worst thing that you've ever done? What is your biggest regret? What is your primary flaw? Now, I know we all know what our primary flaw is because we're surrounded by people who want to tell us what our primary flaw is all the time. Whether it's your spouse, whether it's your colleague, whether it's a coworker, whether it's your boss, everybody kind of knows what your primary flaw is. You don't need to hide it. But I want you to think about, what is your primary flaw? What is your biggest regret? What's your biggest mistake? And now this is what I'd like you to do. I would like you to think about having a big red I'm okay button and just press that button and just say, I'm okay. That even with your biggest mistake, even with your biggest flaw, even with your biggest regret, that you are okay. And the way that you get to feeling okay is called self-admission. Is just to admit that even though you're not perfect, you're okay. That even though you may not meet everyone's expectations, you are okay. That even though you have a primary flaw, a biggest mistake, that you are okay. I want you to just have some self-admission and realize that even though you may not be there yet, that you are a smart, capable, intelligent, beautiful, wonderful, and amazing person. This is just your starting point. This is where you're going to begin the journey of the I am strong formula. Because once you accept it, then you can get past denial and into action. Let me tell you another story from my own life. For many years, and it's kind of funny, for many years my wife said to me, "You're such an angry man. You're such an angry man. Why are you so angry?" And I would say, "I'm not angry. I'm just passionate. I'm just realistic. I'm just there. I'm in it." She says, "No, you're angry." So finally we go to counseling, and the counselor says to me, "Why are you so against being an angry man?" I said, "Well, I don't want to be considered an angry man. I don't like angry people, and I don't want to be an angry person that people don't like." And he said, "Well, what's so wrong about just admitting that you're angry?" I said, "Well, I guess there's really nothing that wrong about it." And once I admitted, once I accepted that I am angry and that certain things do make me angry, I was able to then address my anger to where now I don't think that I get angry that often. But until I accepted it, I was in denial. I could not get past it. There may be things like that in your own life. What is that? That if you just accepted it, you could get on with your life and move from where you are now to the destination that you would like to be. Denial is holding you back. Now, here's your assignment. I'd like you to think about over this next week, what are those things in your life that you deny? People tell you things about yourself, you receive feedback, some of it positive, some of it negative. And I want you to know, are you in denial? Because that denial is holding you back. I want you just to acknowledge it and accept it. Now remember, acceptance is not agreement. Acceptance does not mean you're not going to try. Acceptance does not mean you're a slacker. Acceptance is just, here I am, here is my starting point. Now, let's move in the direction to where you really want to be. And that's where the I am strong formula really comes into play. Because right now we're just focusing on who you are. We're just trying to understand who you are from the inside out so that we can then apply the formula to really help you become that great, powerful, wonderful, capable, amazing person that you are. So over this next week, pay attention to your denial. Figure out what you're denying and then just accept it and move on. Because it's in that moving that's going to make a difference for you. I hope that this has been helpful. Again, if you'd like some personal help with this, reach out to me via email. My email is either going to be on the screen or you can write me here at kirk@thehappinessfactor.com.